The NFL is practically 3 berets away from a socialist revolution. Now, maybe that's just me, but they seem more concerned with dismantling social norms and protesting than with actually playing football. The Minnesota Vikings announced yesterday that they're going to hold a summit and a fundraiser for the LGBTQI inclusion in sports. Now, the Inclusion Summit includes speeches, interviews, panel discussions with a variety of athletes, coaches, and activists who are homosexual or transgender, and will be hosted by the team's recently completed TCO Performance Center. The summit marks the latest in the NFL's continued advocacy for LGBTQI rights and initiatives. Last year, the league launched NFL Pride in a bid to heighten sensitivity to the LGBTQI community and reinforced a commitment to an inclusive environment in which all employees are welcome. That's fair. That's good. That's what we should all be striving for, right? I don't want anybody harassed or discriminated against in the workplace or anywhere, really. But is that what this is really about? Because it seems like there's a kind of a political or ideological slant to this. At the very least, it's virtue signaling. So what is it really about? Well, the summit is, quote, part of a settlement agreement with the Vikings that they made after the former Vikings punter Chris Klue, who is straight, filed a lawsuit against the team in 2014 for allegedly creating a hostile work environment for homosexual and transgender people. Okay, so it's a settlement. This is what happens in corporations, I guess. Ultimately, the NFL is a private business, and, as we saw with the national anthem kneelers, they can conduct their business however they like, and, in turn, the consumers can decide whether they're not going to keep giving them money or the time of day. What really bothers me here is this is just strange. I mean, at what point does, being LGBTQ or I come into sports? When? I mean, if you want to create a better environment inside your company, then you should do that. But why are you lecturing me about it as well? We've landed in this place where politics and gender and race are the lead story on no matter what we're talking about. What do you want for a birthday cake? Do you want vanilla or chocolate? Well, I don't know. I'd like chocolate, but is that just because I'm white? Shut up. Shut up. It's also worth mentioning here that most people don't care if you're gay or straight, with the possible exception of transgendered athletes, but that's another topic entirely. This tolerance has actually been confirmed by studies and surveys throughout all kinds of sports in various countries throughout the world, even countries with, shall we say, a far less tolerant view of the LGBTQI community than we have here in America. Even people in those countries believe it doesn't matter. Why? Because people are coming to see a game. They watch sports to see athleticism, to enjoy the unpredictable fury of sport at its finest. Overwhelmingly, regardless of the sport, people don't care about your sexuality. Get over yourself. Most of us would rather not know. I don't need to imagine you doing whatever you want to do when you're doing it with whomever you want to do it with. Nobody's watching golf to muse the social significance of gender norms and sexuality. We're watching golf. Put the little ball in the cup. That's it. We don't go to a baseball game to meditate on the evils of the patriarchy and the terrors of cultural appropriation. If an athlete is good, I don't care. I don't care. If they're bad, I still don't care. It's certainly not a new idea that LGBTQI can perform in sports. Typically, what sports fans care about is, are they any good? I can guarantee you this. If Liberace rose from the dead, sequins and candelabras and all, and he suddenly was able to play basketball as a dead, flamboyant piano player, still in the sequins, but he was as good as the 90s era Michael Jordan, I don't think Chicago Bulls fans would complain that he joined the team. I think they'd be happy. I think he'd be happy. And I think you'd see a lot of fans that would just be wearing the sequins as a sign of support, not for his lifestyle or for him being dead and risen again somehow or another, just because they're showing their support because he's a great player. I think it's fair to say that most people like sports better when politics aren't involved. Keep the politics out of it. It's near impossible to escape the increasing intolerant politics of the left. Perhaps we could learn a lesson or two from our friends, the ancient Greeks. It's no secret that in ancient Greece, the ancient Greeks liked to engage in all kinds of things that included, I'm guessing, more than LGBTQI. It had the entire alphabet. They were very fond of various activities, but they also built a civilization of tremendous importance to humanity as whole. Philosophy, art, and yes, sports. When they charged off to war or to the Olympics, they didn't slap a rainbow flag bumper sticker on the back of their chariot. Their sexuality didn't define their identity. They were multifaceted human beings able to go to war or to the theater or to the town hall as a citizen, because the citizenry was what mattered. Personhood. Selfhood. They lived in a time when people cared about self and tribe over sexuality and gender. Identity was not selfhood, or identity was selfhood. It was not sexuality. And let me just tell you, I believe we've heard once before from somebody, judge me not by the color of my skin, but the content of my character. When it comes to sports, can we now all just say, judge me on how often I score and not on who I score with?